Sauti Soul there with brighter days, which is what we wish you. Brighter days to come your way. 111 That is our SMS line. Let us know where you're watching us from. Be part of the conversation. And also our social media handles. Switch TV Kenya, Instagram, Switch TV KE on Instagram, Switch TV Kenya on Facebook, and we'll be checking all of that right now. Kuna mtu hapa Facebook anasema, why did Chacha get married that early? I don't know how to answer that. And someone else is saying, is he part of the Chacha family? Yes, he is. He told us about it before, like at the beginning of the show. I think you missed out on that one. Hello, Mikali, loving the show. The dress is mwah. Thank you. That is Bev from Kisumu. Hello, Mwikali, loving the show. Looking good. Can you please repeat the quote of the day, please? Ekofiti Nimona from Makueni Kados. Hey, Mwikali, I love you. Thank you so much for sending in your SMSs. That is 111 Let me just read the quote again for whoever asked for it. So, you have the power to change anything because you are the one who chose your thoughts, and you are the one who feels your feelings. You create your own universe as you go along. You have the power to change anything because you are the one who chooses your thoughts, and you're the one who feels your feelings. You create your own universe as you go along. So you are in total, absolute control of where this journey of life takes you. So you better take charge. Okay? Now, this next conversation is all about you. In that relationship, do you feel like you're in a are you married? Is there an entanglement? Is there a situationship? What is going on? It's time for Relationship Circle. We have lawyer Brenda O'Gara in the building. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
We're going to talk heart issues. Very contentious issues. Marriage is one of those.
It is.
Some people will be in it and they're not sure. Years later, they're just like, is this it? Was this it? Is this what they promised?
Was I in one?
Was that what? What was that?
Yeah, true.
And some come to realize that they were just in it alone.
Yeah, true. Very true.
You were just there, dedicated, but the other partner is not.
Yes.
How do you tell the difference in all of these three things? Or more? They could be more.
What three things? The entanglement, situationships, marriage.
Relationship. How do you figure out where am I?
Basically, you only know you're in a marriage when you have that marriage certificate, legally speaking.
Yeah, because
you are only in a relationship. I mean, in a marriage relationship only if you have that marriage certificate.
So you could have lived together for.
You could have lived together for very many years, but
with children.
Yes, and the other guy can simply up and leave, or the woman can up and leave. It's either or nowadays.
Yes, it is. So unless that happens, and what are the dangers of that? So we've had, and how am I protected as well, having lived with this man for all these years, and we have children, probably grown up children, and we do not have that particular paper.
With the new Marriage Act, you have to, my only advice would be go to the Registrar of Marriages and get that paper, because without that you can't really prove that you are in a married relationship. Neither can you prove that, yes, because you can only prove that you have something together in terms of property only if you have that marriage certificate. If you don't, say you are in a customary type of marriage, then you also have to prove your contributions. So basically, you have to put yourself out there as a person who is in a married relationship, both you and your partner, and you both have to have that understanding that you are in a married relationship. And should anything happen, you actually other people can actually act as witnesses or as proof that yes, these people were married and they were in a married relationship, and if at all you have children, that is proof of that union.
So woe unto you.
Woe unto you.
Tumepatana in Nairobi, hata hujaienda kwetu. But huku Nairobi, they know I am with someone, I have children.
Yes.
We live together. I've never gone to the, like nothing was done customary.
Yes, that is a come we stay.
Yes.
Literally it is. And come we stay relationships are not recognized in Kenya.
There was a thing going round, I think a couple of years ago. Ati kama mmeishi pamoja for more than 6 months, then ni bwana na bibi.
it ceased. It ceased with the new Marriage Act, which is 20 back when in 2014. So that stopped. The only marriages that are recognized are Christian marriages, Hindu marriages, Islamic marriages, marriages under customary laws, or civil marriages, Ilia AG. So if you're not in any of those, or you don't fall under any of those categories, you are not married. So right now, as we speak, for those people out there who are who think that I'm living with a man or I'm living with a woman in my house and we have children and we are married, and you've never even visited the parents, the girl's parents or the man's parents, they have no idea who you are in their child's life, you really are not married. Even if all your friends know Jonine and Jen are together,
yes,
you are not married. You are not. So what I would advise is you have to go to the Registrar of Marriages and get that marriage certificate. It is only then that you can now even do things in terms of owning property together, so as a married couple.
Even if you contribute to owning property
Yeah.
Without the certificate, and something happens and one person dies, especially the man, then as the woman, and you are not married to this one, then you have no claim.
You may not have a claim unless you can prove that you are indeed married.
But if we were not, no, there's no proof that we were married, but we have
Yes.
children. We were together. Alafu sasa yuko tena na ile shamba ni sisi tulikuwa tumenunua pamoja.
If you did that, of course you can actually claim because you have a beneficial interest in that property, or you bought it as a couple, so it was jointly owned. So for
But
that,
if it was written under his name, then you might actually.
do you have records of your contribution?
Oh,
If you
okay.
do, bank
Okay.
statements are proof. So for that, you can actually claim that property. So basically, it has to be, you may have bought together, but you have to prove that it was part of matrimonial property. But then again, you also still have to, you cannot prove matrimonial property if you are not married. So it stems from you being in a married relationship. So without that,
Yes.
how do you now claim matrimonial property? It would be hard, right?
It would be very
It
hard.
would be very hard because who are you? In the eyes of the law, you are just a Jen
Yes.
who is now trying to claim from John.
You look like you, Stephen. That sounds so wrong. Sounds so
Exactly. So people just need to know that in today's laws, you have to have that marriage certificate. It is
Yes.
key. It is important. And just for purposes of even your own growth as a couple,
Yeah.
it is only then that you can now start owning property together. It really helps should one person die or exit the marriage in terms of now claiming what you own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that will also happen when we are getting probably divorced. We'll need to see.
Exactly.
And how does that
Exactly.
work out? Is it 50-50 or do I have to show I sent him like 20 G's but the property is like $1 million?
Yeah.
It's like a 20K.
Before the Marriage Act 2014, it was 50-50. And that 50-50 came from a position where women felt shortchanged
Yes.
because you're a wife and you help this man, you build him up, you help him in his career. You guys do so much. You get your matrimonial properties, you have property here and there. Then at the time of divorce, the man says, no, everything is actually mine. And you'd find that the women are left without nothing, having spent 15, 20 years in a marriage. So when that came up 50-50, again, now it also brought its own issues, where somebody would be like, if I bought this and I bought this for the use of the home, she never did anything or he never helped in any way, what are my rights? Because justice has to be both ways. It has to cut across the board, basically. So what now came up is you have to indicate what you contributed. You have to show proof of your contribution. So nowadays it is not 50-50 as at 2014. It ceased. So women need to know you cannot just marry a man for the sake of being
Their money.
enriched. Exactly. Because should it come to an end, you will have to prove to court that I actually made a contribution. And contribution does not necessarily have to be monetary. It can be non-monetary as well.
Okay, please break down on the non-monetary.
So
I'm looking out for y'all.
yes. So you find that financially, men always have the financial strength, financial power against women. But it has since been established that even women bring something to the table in terms of companionship.
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind. You come back home. Exactly. You come back home to a clean house. Your children are neatly dressed.
Yes.
They're well fed. They're growing up well. I give you a peace of mind. I support you in your ventures out there. That is contribution. So you have to be able to prove to court that I did A, B, C, D in the subsistence of our marriage for purposes of enabling my man or my husband, yeah, in this case, to actually be able to now bring this back home in terms of us being fed, us being clothed, us having a matrimonial property, us having vehicles and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in that case, what is the percentage then?
It is always to the discretion of the court.
Okay.
So they can, yes. So once you present your case, it's on a case-to-case basis. It's not an outright percentage that they'll say that 30% of the estate of or the property of the couple goes to the wife and 70 goes to the man. So it's always at the discretion of the judge.
Okay.
The judge will actually look at what your contribution was and make a decision based on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing women over
So it
here
doesn't have
walking
to be
around-
monetary nowadays.
walking
Yeah.
around with the to receipt kitu ulinunua, you just
It
put it
is important.
We're taking a very short commercial break. If you have any questions around this, please send in your questions because Brenda will be answering them. 111 444 111. That is our SMS line. Switch TV KE on Instagram, Switch TV Kenya on Facebook. We'll be right back. We are having a conversation around your marriage. Yes, you who is married, you who is staying. Yes, we are talking to you this morning. Is that a true marriage, or is it an entanglement, or is it a confusion? Do you even know what the law says about the thing that you're doing with this person that probably you've had children with and you're living together? Do you know what the law says about that? We have lawyer Brenda in the building talking to us about all of that. Na nilikuwa nasema inakaa ni kama we'll start walking around with receipts so that you're able to justify what you brought into the marriage.
Yes.
And it's good that you've clarified that sometimes it's non-monetary. It could be your contribution in terms of time and giving them space and just handling all the matters at home.
At home,
But you have to prove that you are not a nuisance, that you are not fighting and beating the children and
Very
stuff
key.
like that.
Very
and I
key.
think this leads into the question.
Yeah.
Kuna mtu anauliza about prenups. Nasema, hi, I'm loving the show. Kindly ask about prenuptial agreements prior to getting married. Does it count in Kenya? And maybe before we answer that, we could start with what is a prenup for anybody who's hearing this for the very first time.
Yeah. So basically a prenup contract is a document where both parties, that's the man and the woman, they come together and they set down terms. So it will entail the property they've owned before marriage individually.
Okay.
And then they will entail, the contract will also entail, the prenup will also entail the property that they're going to earn or get or acquire in the subsistence of the marriage. And should this union come to a termination, then what will happen? Who is going to get
these things
what?
Before we say I do.
Before you say I do,
Wow.
we sign on the dotted line.
Okay.
Yes. So it has to basically entail the property that I, as Brenda, had before I met Moses, and then what we're going to earn as a couple. What is?
So do we keep adding on to that if we've decided we've gotten a boat, when they call Brenda?
Yeah.
We need to add it on to that.
It depends if it's going to be part of matrimonial property. Because again, people need to
it
know
could
what
be-
matrimonial property
What
is.
is that? Because
Oh yes, by the way, we
Yeah.
need to actually let people know that in the subsistence of a marriage,
Yes.
you as Mikali can still own property individually, separate from your husband. Yes, so that is also key. Not everything that is acquired in the subsistence of a marriage will amount to matrimonial property. Yes.
Okay.
So basically, matrimonial property is, loosely defined as the matrimonial home. Yeah. The effects, the household goods that are in that matrimonial home, or any other immovable or movable property that you acquire together for the benefit of the home
family.
and of the family. Exactly.
Okay.
So only that will amount to matrimonial property. So you can acquire a boat, but that's yours. It doesn't mean that.
What if it was a gift to you, Brenda?
If it was a gift from the husband,
Yes.
then it's yours as well.
Oh, it's not matrimonial.
It is not,
that is mine.
Yes, and legally speaking, he should not be able to come and try to take it back.
How do you prove it was a gift?
You have to prove title. So if it's like a boat, of course,
then
it's
it
the
has to
registration
have your-
documents and whatnot. So yes, it has to have your name. So by the way, when you're being gifted, let no man or woman lie to you that I'm gifting you this Range Rover, here's the key.
Brenda, please introduce camera straight into our slay queens. Yeah, I hope they're watching.
Our people. When being gifted, just ensure that you have all the registration documents. So if it's a car, ensure you have the logbook in your name.
Yes.
If it is a plot somewhere, ensure you have the title deed in your name.
Yeah.
So only then do you actually own that gift.
Yeah.
Quote,
So
unquote.
do not be lied to.
Do not
They
be
will
lied
gift
to.
you all kinds of things, and the name is theirs. They'll give
Yeah.
you this beautiful house, but it's in their name. That's not a gift.
It's not.
So if they genuinely want to gift you, can they just
Transfer,
gift you?
exactly.
Transfer.
With the registered documents,
Yes.
of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've talked about what matrimonial property is. Let's get back to the prenup. So the prenup is we list down
Yes.
all the things that we are going to acquire together for the sake of the home.
Yes.
So when those things are listed down, then we sign.
It is more of listing down what may be acquired. Because
Okay.
remember, at the beginning or at the commencement of this union or of this marriage, you may never know what you're going to acquire.
So can
So
we
it
add
can
them
be
later?
it can be a generalistic
Okay.
terminology
Okay.
which lawyers know how to draft. Yeah. So you can say anything that is acquired for the benefit of the home, which amounts to matrimonial property,
Yes.
shall be divided in this way should we terminate the marriage or should we
Okay.
dissolve the marriage.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And-
you don't necessarily have to list that we are going to acquire a plot in Roysambu
Okay.
and we're definitely going to acquire a home in Karen. You don't have to list, but you can
There's
see
a way
how to
it's
draft.
coined.
There's a way, yeah. Drafting is it's different.
Okay.
It basically goes down to what the actual circumstances at that time.
Okay.
Yes.
So we sign that
Yeah.
before I go down the aisle with you.
Yes.
And this protects us both.
It does, and it is recognized in Kenya. So
It actually works here.
yes, it does. You look like you're in shock.
See, this is a conversation I
Yeah.
think that maybe sits different for different people because we're already getting into this thinking of the end. We're already, we're already thinking about the
How
end.
to terminate before
And
you've
is
even
it-
started.
Is it a yearly? Can you terminate the prenup in the course of your marriage? Can
Yes,
you
you
go
can.
back? Okay.
You can. But you know the way people joke around that marriage is a contract and what it
Yes.
actually is.
It is a contract.
Shock on us all. Yes, it is. So if you had a prenup and in the substance of the marriage you're like, let's do away with this thing. We really don't need it. I trust you. You trust me. Yeah, you can actually terminate the contract,
That
just
means
like any other contract.
we're getting into this with no trust. I'm just
Yeah,
being emotional
yeah.
about this, guys. I feel you. know. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
answering your
It's
question.
a thing that is there, and people need to know about it,
Yes, and it happens here.
and it happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi. Hi, Wix. Morning. I'm loving the show. What if you got married without knowing if someone was married but invested together? Can he get 2 marriage certificates because the investments are all in both of our names? Okay. So I think the first bit,
Yeah.
you got married knowing without knowing that someone else was married. So this man is doing something illegal, no?
It is illegal. You're very right. It is illegal. Number 2, the second marriage is void.
It's
It is
void.
not a marriage, basically.
What if it's a traditional marriage? So
It is still void. Because, and I'll explain, if a man marries a woman under the Christian union,
yes.
yeah, you are definitely a monogamous relationship.
Okay.
So you're not supposed to get into any other relationship with any woman or man unless this marriage is dissolved.
Okay.
So the minute you get into a relationship with somebody else or marry that other person, that other marriage is void. There's a reason why I'm doing this, because it's not existent.
Yes.
It is void ab initio, from the get-go. It is void. So that is not a marriage. For now, in her instance, hers is not a marriage, and it's the first marriage is what will be recognized.
And the thing that makes it recognized is the marriage certificate.
Is the marriage certificate.
That is what makes a marriage legal.
Yes. So if we put a twist to it before we even drift from these points,
Yes.
should the man have married his first wife under a customary type of marriage,
Yes.
then that is now potentially polygamous.
Yes.
So yes, he can actually get into another relationship with another woman and marry that other woman as well under the customary laws.
Okay, so
Yes.
it depends on what kind of marriage.
It depends on what kind of marriage it was.
Okay.
Yes.
So if it was the customary marriage,
they can get certificates for both unions.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
The first one determines what else happens afterwards.
After. Yes.
So the AG one is also monogamous.
So
it's the customary one is the one that allows you to have other women. Multiple. Okay, fine. Multiple.
Yeah.
We are not marrying many men. Just the men are getting
yes.
many women. So it allows the man to marry other women.
Yes.
Do we have a limit for this?
He can do 20. I don't know.
20? What?
It can be 30.
Okay,
40.
cool. A cuckoo danger style.
And of course, the Islamic kind of marriage as well.
Yes,
it's potentially polygamous as well.
Yeah.
But it's up to 4 wives at any one time. So you don't exceed 4 at any time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if this then happens, then we'll assume that this is a customary marriage, and then we'll jump into the next bit of it. Can he get 2 marriage certificates?
Yes, he can.
For the customary.
It's just about registration.
Okay. Yeah. And because the investments are in all their names, her name and the guy's name. So what happens when she wants to withdraw? Can she still go through the first process that you talked about?
Divorce.
When she is divorce.
If you acquire property as a couple, the only time you're now withdrawing is through divorce.
Okay.
So yes, she can acquire. She can actually withdraw and try and get part of her property.
Okay.
That was owned. Yeah. But to the extent of her contribution again.
Okay. Yes.
So yes, to the extent of her contribution.
And what the judge feels about how good you are as a mother.
Yes. And a wife.
And a wife. Hi, Mikali. We went to the AG for our wedding. Our parents have no idea that we're already married. Now he's threatening me of bringing another woman home. What can I do?
He will not be able to. She's fine.
Well, he can do it, but
he can do it, but it's not legal.
It's not legal.
That's the unfortunate bit. So he may do it, but it's not legal. So
this
but
can also
legally speaking, in terms of her any property that they had acquired together, then she is the rightful wife. Yeah.
And let's talk about divorce at this point. Is this a grounds for her to seek and file for divorce?
Definitely. The minute your spouse is, philandering their love out there with other people, then yes, that's a ground. Adultery is a ground.
Okay.
A big one at that, actually. It's the major one, really.
And when we go down that direction, do I get more because you're the one who hurt me?
No, unfortunately. Unfortunately not. At the end of the day, it's to the extent of your contribution.
Okay,
so
wow.
But you will be granted your divorce and you will be free to now, do you.
Date and, okay. Hi, Kisonga sana. Hi, Jane from Nakuru, married to a man who was married. Hi, Jane from Nakuru, married to a man who was married wakaachana, but with 2 kids. Later, I have learnt that they have marriage certificate and everything we've bought is under his name. Advice, please.
So the guy was married and they even have a marriage certificate.
Yes.
So right now, as we speak, she is still a side chick. Because the minute you have a marriage certificate, the only way you move into another relationship is through divorce after having concluded your divorce. So the man may be in court that, yes, I'm following up on our divorce. The guy is not yet divorced. So until that divorce process is concluded, then now is when you can get into a married relationship with this guy. Yes.
And with the property bit, I think you mentioned something to do with if you're able to show your contribution.
Yes.
Towards,
then now you can try and claim that.
But there's no matrimonial property here with you and the guy.
Yeah.
Oh, but guys though, why?
Yeah.
Why would you go ahead lying to a chick like this, Bana? What? Okay.
The guy has to go through divorce first.
Yeah. Hi, Mwikali, loving the show. I'm watching from Meru. I'm pregnant with this man. He keeps on telling me everything is well. At times, I ask him questions and he ignores me. Should I take off this baby and start a new life? Kindly help. We've just gone all the way out of the
that's
the courtroom.
really out. Yeah.
But I don't know what you have to say about this.
So her only issue is that she's pregnant with a man who's not really committing.
Yeah.
That's just a relationship. That's just a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. There's nothing legal about it. There's no legal aspect to it.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, now the child comes to life.
Yes.
Then now she may, should things go down the drain, then now she can claim maintenance from courts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think keep your baby.
Yeah. No, definitely do.
Yeah,
Please do. They are so lovely.
If you want to follow up on this guy later on, then there's a route for that.
Yeah,
there's a process for that.
Definitely.
Hi Mukali, it's Stella from Mwingi, Kitui County. I love the show. I have a question. Don't you think that getting into a marriage setup, having signed a prenup, is like having an axe on your marriage? I was thinking the same thing, Stella, and I think I voiced it. I was like, why am I getting into it thinking of the end? And I think most of the times we have seen the prenup conversation happening is where very rich people are concerned.
Yes.
Especially one coming from a family that is overly protective of their wealth. Then they want to protect their son or their daughter from the other person or the partner getting a hold of their money.
It's important for people to know that Kamau and Wanjiku out here down, walking across the street, they can also have these prenuptial agreements. So nowadays it's not a reserve of, only the rich. No, it's not. So all of us can actually have prenups, and it's unfortunate that if somebody suggests it, then the other party may immediately think, why are you thinking it?
Yes.
Why you don't trust me or something like that. But it is just purely to avoid complications down the road should it come to it.
Okay.
Yes. So it is not a preserve of the rich. People need to know that. It is just purely to protect yourself. I personally, I'm not a fan of it. I haven't done it. I don't think I would ever do it. But yeah, it's if you feel that that's something that you definitely need in your life, I would advise and advocate that you can proceed with it.
Go and do it.
Yeah, proceed by all means.
So when you're getting into it, when you sign in the prenup, and you probably do not have like a lot of property, but you just feel like maybe later in life you may acquire. I'm that ambitious and stuff. Can I still do that and change as I go, or does the prenup just say whatever I acquire in my name will be mine, and whatever we acquire as matrimonial property, then that is the only thing that we will gawana according to?
Yeah, yes and yes. Your prenup can be changed at any time. The parties can agree to changing it and sign off on it, even during the subsistence of the marriage, just to key in and lock in that yes, this is what it is.
Yes.
But your matrimonial property, just same way I said that you can acquire property individually. That is all that matters. You just need to establish the two and distinguish both of them. If I'm acquiring this car as for my personal use and it is not matrimonial property, all you need is to prove that that was the case. If it was something that you jointly purchased for the benefit of the home or for the benefit of the family or for the children, then that is all you need to also prove.
Okay.
So it really is, it's easy to distinguish all these things.
Okay.
Yeah, during this is personal and this is for the family. So it amounts to matrimonial property.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're running out of time, so this will be probably the last question. Cheating in marriage, can you take a cheater to court? See, we are married and then you hurt my feelings. Yeah. So we went up kwa AG and we said till end. So
the only way I know that feeling, by the way, of people feeling that my spouse cheats on me and is adulterous and whatnot. The only way you can take them to court is if you have decided that you're going for divorce. Okay. Otherwise, you cannot take him to a court because, try and teach him a lesson or punish him or, award me damages or costs because, I'm suffering at the hands of this spouse of mine.
No.
You understand? It's not about that.
Okay.
So only if you are proceeding with the divorce, then can you bring them before court.
And in that case, what kind of evidence do I need if I'm filing for divorce and I am accusing them of cheating?
If you have photos, please provide. The court actually looks at that and recognizes SMSs, transcripts of those. Yes, it's actually admissible in court.
Okay.
Yeah. You also don't have to prove that I have a photo, but you can even bring the name. So if you feel that X is cheating with Y on me,
yes,
then yeah, you can even submit the name of Y as well in your application. So watch out.
Such a mucky affair.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we need to have a whole conversation on divorce, you know, and because there's a limit to at what point the two of you can get divorced after getting married. You can't just get married this year and then next year it's a divorce. Yeah. That's not legal.
Though there's a judge who's trying to change that factor.
Yes.
But we are still trying to say it's not on legislation yet.
Yes.
But it's on a decision in court at the moment.
Okay. At the moment, you have how many years before you can actually?
At the moment,
them?
It's 2. But I think in 2017, 2018, thereabouts, there was a Justice Nyakundi who said, I mean, if two people have fallen out of love with each other, who are we to say that they have to provide grounds in court? And I feel that's reasonable, to be honest.
I think it is.
It is.
I think we should have this conversation.
We should have it. We will.
Brenda, thank you for coming through.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for sending in your question. We've tried to answer as many as we could this morning. And time is up with Brenda. We're taking a very short commercial break. We will be right back. This is Full Circle with Mukali. Hey.